Okay, I wanted to pop on here. I'm sort of a hot mess. I just got back from pickleball. But I wanted to hop on. I wanted to include you girls here in the Daily Detox group. We just finished our Rainbow Cleanse in our other private group, our 7-Day Rainbow Cleanse. We finished it yesterday. And it was so special. I love it. It makes me want to pound the table, stirs my heart when women are on board and excited to grow spirit, soul, body, and to connect and dare to step out of their box, out of their comfort zones. It was amazing. I love, love, love it. You can join in at any time because I've set it up on my new platform over at kellyparr.org. And you can join in any time when you become a member inside the 7-Day Rainbow Cleanse. You can watch the live videos. You can replay it. You can work with all the food, the recipes, download the e-guide, and it's there for you. I'll try to do, I'm looking at maybe like every 3-4 months doing it corporately together. But we've got a couple of the girls are starting it over again this week and doing it again. And I love that. But they had lots of good questions, lots of communication going on. But I wanted to get on and share just a snippet. Hope you watched the video I posted the other day about our senses, because this cleanse taps into all and awakens your senses. And so when that happens, sometimes we're like, whoa, because, you come into thinking it's a cleanse, going to be just physically losing weight, but it's so much more than that. And so the part I wanted to share is the importance of, the question that came up to me is, why are we afraid to go hungry? Why are we afraid to push the plate away? Why are we afraid to, food is very spiritual and you don't want to mess with people's food. I get that. And, but what happens when you do? And I want to make it very clear that, fasting and cleansing, it's not like, I don't want to come across as like we're striving to get, to twist God's arm or to cause him to answer some questions that we have, but it's not that at all. It's being able to recognize how wonderfully you're created and being able to heal in such a way and give space for that. Fasting and cleansing isn't to change God's mind or his heart or, strive and work our way up to him to do better. It has nothing to do with that from my perspective. I want it to come across that it doesn't change his heart, but it definitely taps into ours. And it takes you places in his heart that takes you places in yours that you didn't even know existed. And I love that about taking times and putting times aside, rearranging your plate, and the Rainbow Cleanse is a great way to start because you can add color to your plate. The more color you add, the more nutrients you get. So I was reminded, just to remind you all that, with fasting and cleansing, it's not to change God's heart, but it's to tap into ours. And I just shared in the Rainbow group how, to hunger for him. Let me pull up John 4:34 in the King James, for those who are King James version. Jesus said, "My meat is to do the will of him who sent me and to finish his work." In the ESV, it says it like this: "My food is to do the will of him who sent me and accomplish his work." The NLT, listen to this one: "My nourishment comes from doing the will of the Father who sent me and from finishing his work." The Message: "The food that keeps me going is that I do the will of the one who sent me." So may our comfort not be drawn in food. And as I shared in our Rainbow group, how sometimes we have such a craving and nothing satisfies. We're hungry for this, we're hungry for that. It's not like filling a need. And it's like, man, I'm still hungry. Maybe I need something sweet. Maybe I need something salty. But you know what? It's a spiritual hunger. You'll never be able to satisfy your spiritual hunger with physical food. And just like Jesus said, my meat, my nourishment, my food, that's what keeps, it says my nourishment comes from doing the will of the Father. That's what keeps me going. The food that keeps me going is to doing his will, is to step into him and to be able to run to him for comfort and not food, not drinks, not shopping, not chocolate, but to be able to come into that place. And that's when you step in and you do like the rainbow cleanse or any type of fasting or cleansing, you realize how desperate and hungry you are. And I'll just close with this. Reminded this story of when I was in Indonesia, Jakarta. We went to a 1040 window conference, Bob and I, and there was a pastor from Zacharias Foam. Very, oh my gosh, he just glistened with the presence of God, from Nigeria. And he made a comment in one of his meetings, and he looked out at the audience and he goes, "Most of you missionaries need to go home." And we're like, you could have heard a pin drop. He said, "What are you multiplying?" And I'm telling you, that hit me like cold water in my face. It's like an awakening in my face. And it wrecked me. And Bob and I, after the conference, we went to a friend's apartment on the 32nd floor, Tamanangrik, 32nd floor. All we had, the apartment was empty. He let us stay there, a local guy, a friend of ours. And we were just on a mat on the floor. And I went into a 3-day absolute fast, no food, no water for 3 days. I was desperate. I was hungry for God. And it wasn't that I was trying to twist God's arm. It wasn't that I was trying to get him to pay attention to me, or it wasn't that at all. It was just something in me that craved for him. And the spiritual hunger that I had overrode any physical hunger that would never satisfy. And I remember at 2, 3 in the morning, you know, you wake up in the middle of the night because your body's revving up and it's cleaning house on the inside and detoxifying, and you recognize what's going on. And I remember, you know, imagine the 32nd floor, I just scooted off the mat over by the window because the whole front of our room was a window and you could look out over Jakarta. And I looked down and the cars were small and it was very busy. Even at 2 and 3 in the morning, the streets were full. And I just rocked and I prayed and I thought, oh God, I am so thirsty. My mouth is so dry, but I am more desperate for you. I crave a drink from you. I crave food that, yeah, as Jesus said, my food is to do your will. My nourishment comes from him, not from, of course, our physical nourishment comes from food. Yes, I understand that. But there was a cry in my heart that craved for something more. So always remember that don't confuse your physical hunger for a spiritual hunger. And that's my heart cry for all of us women, is that we come to a place that we hunger and we're desperate for him, that we crave him in such a way that nothing can fill that need but him. No shopping, no chocolate, no caffeine, no drinks of any type. Nothing can satisfy what only he can satisfy. So be encouraged today, girls. Fill your plate with color. I just had my yellow turmeric smoothie, and have a great day. I love each one of y'all. I pray for y'all. And let's do this, okay? Let's continue to grow holistically together. Adventure out, try new things, not be afraid to step out of our boxes, and take care of this gift of life that God has given us, okay? Mwah! Y'all have a good day, and I'll talk to you later.